for this video, I want to talk about my best and possibly the best, I don't know, generative modules. Now, if you have better generative modules, and please let me know in the comments, because I like setting up and kind of getting the system, the Eurorack system, whatever pieces I have in it, to create its own music. Now, I'm going to go through how I do it a little bit. I'm going to go through how I do it, but in the background, while nothing's playing, the reason why I have the system on is so that it can kind of mess up my webcam there. Sloths is doing that, which is one of my fantastic modules for, I think, for generative music. First of all, I'm getting way ahead of myself here. What I think generative music is music that kind of self-generates itself. It's kind of, the Eurorack system is building its own music. And it's kind of slowly, I think the best generative music, not all of it, but some of the best one, slowly adapts and changes. And I learned that from watching, I want to do a shout out to Monotrail Tech Talk YouTube channel. I think his stuff is amazing, and he always talks about generative music and ambient music, and he makes a whole bunch of different types of music, but I mainly watch those videos. And he has got a whole bunch of great little talks and tutorials about how to make things like one function generator adjust another function generator through a VCA and things like that. And I keep learning and trying to incorporate those ideas in mine. Sometimes though, when I go and I patch it up. So what I do is I kind of patch it up here. It sounds pretty good. I close everything up and I keep it patched. Maybe I got to take a couple out, especially because this one, the cover for it was a bit shallower. So I might have to unplug a couple cables, set it up in location, hit record, and it just goes. And sometimes it doesn't turn out, which is what happened to the one that you're hearing in the background here, which is why I'm talking over it. Not that it's terrible, it just didn't move and go anywhere how I thought that it was going to. So anyways, that's my background talking one here. So getting to the best modules. The best modules that I have, I've done a bunch of generative music videos, and I think that all the first ones used Pamela's Pro Workout. I feel like that was a key one. I would put it on random, kind of a random step, and you can go in and you can fine tune it's almost like attenuating it. It might even be under attenuation, and adjust so that it doesn't fly over all the octaves and stays within a octave or whatever. So Pamela's Pro I thought was an awesome one that I have in my system. The Qubit Bloom I have in my system. I've only used it for one or two, but it was pretty cool. It's got that branches mode. I think it's branches. Branches and paths. Mutation. Branches and mutation. And so it can kind of self-generate and kind of go in its own way, which is super cool. In the past I've used grids, Mutable Instruments grids for drums, along with Mutable Instruments branches, which is like a probability. I ran triggers through it for whatever, I think in the ones that I did it for hi-hats, or for it to go to rings or surface and play a different thing. So those Mutable Instruments ones were pretty good. What I want to tie into the Mutable Instruments is the Zeleric Repetitor. It's also very similar to grids, but it doesn't need to be fed a clock. It can be fed a beat. So I'm wondering about feeding one of the beats from Grid into the Zeleric Repetitor, using that beat, which is not going to be a steady pattern necessarily, and then creating a beat off of the beat. I don't know, could do some crazy stuff. Sloths, I feel like, is amazing because it already does some weird chaos stuff, and you kind of want that in a generative patch. And one that I haven't used, I use the Square Per Mod mainly to hook up to my laptop when I'm running not generative music. So I've sequenced everything and I want it to tell my system to do something specific. That's what I use my Square Per Mod for, but I think it can run a whole bunch of random things on it, like random notes and almost like a sample and hold pattern throughout it, but maybe it's more random. I don't know. And maybe I should be exploring that one more instead of looking elsewhere. But a couple ones that I for sure sound interesting are the Gamut Repetitor, Noise Engineering. That one seems super neat. I want to try. And there's a new Canadian company. I don't know how new they are, but new for me, I just recently heard of them, called Omnitone. And they've got a Rhythmi and a Beatsy, which sound pretty cool. And it sounds similar to, for the Beatsy, Mutable Instruments grids, I think. And for the Rhythmi, it sounds almost like the other half of, actually, putting the two of them together, maybe it's almost like a Mutable Instruments marbles. So that could be pretty cool. I don't know if the Gamut Repetitor has got, I know it's like half of the marbles, but maybe it also has like a drum sequence as well. I'm not sure. Anyways, those are some of the reasons why I want to try those. If you know of some good generative modules, I think I want to get back to a couple more of those. See if, I don't know if I'm going to go as hardcore as I did that one summer where I was trying to do one every week, but incorporate them more. Unfortunately, after I built my new case here, I needed power, so I've stolen power from this case. I'm not throwing it out or selling it. I might come back to it. But I think this is going to be the new generative case, so that's why everything's kind of out and in disarray, and I'm figuring things out here because I was moving all those modules that I just talked about over in here. Ooh, one more I just saw that I didn't even think about was I have the Instruo Scion, which can do some random stuff when it's connected to plants and things like that. So maybe if I do take it outside, we'll see what noise some plants can make with the Instruo Scion. And this stuff maybe it'll work its way in. I'm not sure. I've got my new big case here that I'm trying to figure out, trying to get power to and get these modules up and running. And somewhere in the background, I don't know if it can be seen. Oh, it can if I move the robot out of the way. See if I can incorporate these pedals, which is why I'm moving my send return modules over here out of the big case to incorporate all these super cool new Chase Bliss modules that I just recently posted videos on after I picked those up. And I've done some pretty cool stuff with that. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the All Weather Haulage channel. I'm so close to 500. I don't know if it unlocks special cheat codes or privileges, but I'm interested to see what happens when you get to 500. So if you could, give me a subscribe, and I'll let you know if anything cool happens once I get there, although I've seen lots of people are already there. Anyways, or let me know in the comments what happens. Maybe it's nothing. Alright, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time right here on the All Weather Haulage channel.